I'm combining 2, maybe 3 patterns to get my Pinterest inspo look. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kyla if you're new here, and if you've been with me for a little bit, thanks so much for tuning in again. I've had this dress on my Pinterest mood board. I believe it's on my Statements in Fashion mood board for probably about a few years now. It's a Pierre Cardin, somewhere around 1968, 1969 design time frame. And what drew me to it was I love the simplistic shape, just the A-line, kind of a 60s Mod Squad type of look. But I love the princess seam detailing with the sequin trim coming down the side. And it's got pockets. So this has been on my list for a while to recreate, but I'm not gonna do it exactly like his. I'm gonna be making mine in black with the sparkly black trim and really turning it into a holiday evening wear, so to speak. I've got 3 patterns that I'm going to intermingle to create this look. And as I go along, you'll see how I'm able to take pieces from other patterns and just work them together. For my beginning sewists that are out there, you'll learn as you go along. Being that 5/8 of an inch is a standard seam allowance, it pretty much translates across the board as far as being able to mix and match pieces, even though the brand name of the pattern is different. So the one pattern that I'm using is the newest, that has the actual fit and flare with the princess seams and pockets. But then the other 2 are from my stash that are going to give me the shape that I'm looking for and the 3/4 inch length sleeves. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so I've had this poly crepe and it's got a little bit of stretch to it in my stash for a while that I thought would be the perfect weight for this dress. And I keep lining, especially in colors like black, navy blue, and gray, just in my stash. I always keep some 2-yard pieces on hand. And for the trim, I found this beautiful trim on Etsy. And I'll put the link in the description box below to the shop that I got it from. But I thought it would be perfect because it's just black on black and it just looked like black crystals or black granite just cascading down. So I can't wait to put this on. And of course, since the beading goes right to the edge, I am going to have to put this on by hand. But you know what? I've done hand stitching before, and this will definitely be worth it. So I'm trying to smooth out the triangle so that it's not giving such that fit and flare look, because I really want it to be more A-line. But I need to keep the curve here for the bust, and according to the pattern measurements, I'm making a size 14 is what will fit me. So I think I'll keep my basic outline here. Maybe bring this in a slight bit, but here on the side, I want to bring this, make it just a little bit more A-line. Yeah. We'll see. Oh my goodness. I'll give myself enough leeway though, that if I need to soften it a little bit more, I've got some extra fabric to work with. All right, I've got my front and back pieces all cut out, and here's my sleeves. Now I can move on to cutting out the lining, and then I can start sewing. Ooh, I am cutting it close with this lining, but I think I will just make it. I've got my markings on the front outer layers, and this is where the pocket placement will be. Got my little triangle here so that I can line up. Here's the piece here. And make sure my little triangles match. And I'll repeat that same process for the side panel portion of the dress, but adding the actual fabric part of the pocket. Okay, so I've got my side panels and the pockets in place, and I connected them to the middle front part. Let me turn this over to the sunshine here. It's a little bit better. And I need to make a correction. This pocket is gapping at the bottom here. It's not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be open. It's supposed to be flush to the front of the garment, just like this side is. And I think that probably happened because I pinned this side in place so that the curve was lined up. But on this side, I just winged it, and this has got to be moved up. But other than that, it is coming along. Once I make a correction to this gaping pocket here, I can move along to the back, adding the invisible zipper to the back panels. Getting there. I've got the one side of the invisible zipper stitched in place. Now I can put it on the other side and then add my two outer sections. I have a little snip here right underneath the bottom of each pocket and right at the top of each pocket. And that's just so that I could fold that inside to press it flat and then press my seams open. All right, I've got my invisible zipper in place, and the pattern used just a regular zipper, but I went with what I had, and I had a black invisible one that was 20 to 22 inches, so this works for me. I actually like it better because I like the teeth on a zipper being hidden. So now that I've got that in place, I can go about pinning my side panels to the back and stitch those in place. Okay, time for a fit check, and I am loving how I really cut down that fit and flare look that the pattern had because it's more A-line, which is what I was going for. And I love the pocket placement. That's perfect. I can see where the trim will cascade down the inside of the princess seams. And one thing that I have noticed though, I've got way too much room here. So I'll just bring that in a bit and then I'm good. Yay. All right, I'm pleased. Moving on. Okay, yeah, I'll have to put some basting stitches or E-stitching at the top just to pull that in a little bit, but other than that, it's got the fit that I want, so I'm good there. So this is what the lining looks like inside out, and you'll notice that I have no sleeves, and that's because I ran out of fabric, but kind of at the right time, because I was thinking I really don't need a lining for the sleeves. This is so lightweight, this is not going to add any extra body to the sleeves that I'll need, and I'm hemming the sleeves by hand, just like the bottom of the dress, so I just didn't see the need to put another piece in there. I could have got another black piece of lining. It may not have been the same shade, but I decided not to and just stick with lining the bodice part because the neckline has no facing. So, and that's the whole purpose of having the lining for this particular style anyway. So I think I'll be fine. But here's my back opening here that I'll attach on the inside to my invisible zipper. And I will just machine stitch it at the bottom. I'll just turn that up and fold that a couple times, press it in place, and then make a stitch around there. So I've made some gathering stitches at the top here, and then I'll adjust the ease when I pin the sleeves to the armholes. Okay, home stretch. I've got my sleeves pinned in place. Here's the other one here, as you can see. And I'm going to have to insert the trim on an angle. So I'm going to remove the beads, not directly across, but at an angle here because of how they need to be placed against the seam that runs down the front. And then I'm going to have to stitch this by hand. Here's a pocket here. And when I get to the bottom here, I'll have to remove a couple of beads, tuck it under, stitch it in place, and put the beads back on. See, this is why beaded clothing costs so much, because it's work involved, and this is just a trim. So imagine a whole dress where you have to take beads off and put them on everywhere there's a seam. It's 2 yards total, so I'm going to have some extra here, which is great. I can use it for something else. And then I'll just have to repeat that process for the other side. So I left about a 2-inch gap open here in the sleeves of where I'll be inserting the trim. And then that is it, because I went ahead and I hemmed the bottom by hand already. That's done. And then I also hemmed the sleeves as well. So they're done. Whew. Getting there. Okay, y'all, tell me I don't look like the first lady of something, anything. Oh, I love how this turned out. Oh, I love it. All the hand sewing was worth it. It really was. Oh, and I love taking just the juxtaposition of mixing different textures and sheens together so that it's not all just solid matte black. I pulled in the bead trim with my patent leather shoe and kept the stocking sheer so that you can see a little bit of my leg. And of course, I added the little gloves like the Pinterest inspiration. And I love it. Oh, I can't wait to wear it. Now watch, I won't have one formal event coming up on the next trip that I'm taking, but that's okay because I'm steadily building my little black wardrobe, I'm calling it my LPW. That way I just have some evening wear items just set and ready to go on a whim's notice. Oh, I love it. I hope your takeaway from today's video is that if you've got something in mind, but you don't have the design skills to sketch it out, or if you see something that you want to recreate, you can definitely work that look that you want by using multiple patterns and piecing them together. I've been doing this for a while, so I've gotten used to being able to pull a sleeve from here, a collar from there, a shape from one pattern, trim ruffle bodice difference from the bottom and the top from another pattern. So I've gotten used to doing this method and I enjoy it. And it makes it easier on me to not have to sketch something out, even though I can. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's content as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I've got my 1960s Pierre Cardin glam inspo dress all set to go for that party. So if you're having one, send me an invite, okay? Because right now I don't have anything planned. I thank you all for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.